Hello and welcome to another update video about CROcrypto.com. I mean, generally today, the market is looking fairly green. Yeah, we've seen with Bitcoin, for example, a slight upside, even though it can't really climb above 38K. And some other cryptos, including CRO, are doing really well today. It's oftentimes the case that if Bitcoin is moving sideways and it's getting a bit boring, that a lot of money is going into these altcoins. And that's also one reason of why I like to dollar cost average in, because if you dollar cost average in into one of these cryptos and they suddenly jump in and you actually want to hold them long term, but then of course short-term profit taking is an option, especially in the current environment, at least where I expect another drop. You might expect something different. I think we're going to see another drop, so it might be worth thinking about for some people to take some short-term profits, especially also with CRO, which has now, since the low here at around 33 cents, moved up to 44 cents. So that's quite interesting. Also, what is worth mentioning is here, we had on this chart here this descending trend line. I probably just need to move it a little bit because it depends on which time frame you're really looking at, if you then use the wicks or not. But no matter how you draw this trend line here, you can actually see that the immediate downtrend, for now at least, has been broken. So I think that is very interesting. That happened already a few days ago. You could interpret it that, we have this descending trend line here. We had, by the way, here this descending wedge on the chart already, where there was a down, it broke to the downside, but then recovered and broke that descending trend line to the upside, retested, and is now moving further up. So probably you can also move it a little bit like that. So it retested it and is moving further up. It has even moved above the 0.618 fib level here at 42.5 cents. Now I find that quite interesting because the 0.618 is quite an interesting and important Fibonacci level. Also, as mentioned in the previous video, CRO is one of the few cryptos that is still holding above the 200-day moving average here in yellow. This moving average is currently sitting at 32 cents, okay? And you can see that this previous low here, this area here of trade around in the beginning of November, has now provided a lot of support. So that's definitely worth mentioning and keeping in mind. This line. I think only if we cross this one, which is around 33 cents, then you're going to see lower prices, at least then 27 cents all the way down to 18 cents, which would also here be my target area for the next sell-off actually. Unless really CRO can now recover quite a bit, and I'm observing here definitely that next level, that next swing high, which is sitting here at 50 cents. I think it is a level where certainly the price could get to these 50 cents here. If it gets above that, then it's starting to look really interesting, because already that current move here, even though it's looking a bit corrective with this strong move down here, you could interpret it as a impulse, okay, where you have here a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and we are now in the wave 5 and maybe completed that wave 5 by pushing above the 0.618 fib level and finding resistance here at the 20-day moving average. So it's not looking too bad, but overall it's looking quite corrective with these strong moves down. That is not typical for an impulse. So I think we might be here in a corrective wave to the upside before we also, in line with Bitcoin, get a final sell-off. I'm just wondering, I don't think that CRO, for example, is doing something different like Bitcoin here. Yes, it's moving up. That's what many altcoins are doing, but I think this is still part of that correction, okay? Two good things, we broke in above the 0.618 fib level and we broke above that descending trend line. So it's worth keeping that in mind. Also, if you draw this other trend line, because you can identify another trend line here, also that was broken, okay, which is a positive sign. I'd love the daily to close above this level. That would be interesting. And this level is 41 cents, okay? So that's interesting. We currently seem to be struggling to get above the 20-day moving average, or if I zoom in, we actually have got above it, as it seems. We got above it and retested now, so that's healthy. We even moved up to 44 cents. So it's looking interesting, but one level that I definitely watch is here, the 50 cent level. There you go. or even 49.5. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a range here. I would say between 49.5 and 48.5, or even here 47. So between 47 and 49.5, that's quite a bit of a range here that the price needs to get above. And then we can start to think about, yeah, potentially here a confirmed breakout. At least it's then getting much more likely, because you're making not only higher lows, you're also making really here a higher high. Yeah, I mean, here in this zone, yes, you are making higher highs, but really we want to get that thing here broken and really push higher from here. So it's interesting. Overall though, I think in line with the cryptos, with other cryptos, we are still here in an ABC correction, and that should really push us into the range between 18 and 27 cents. Bear in mind, I do expect another probably 30% sell-off for Bitcoin, 20 to 30%, and that would also affect CRO. And then typically what you see, the altcoins that have pushed up quite a lot, they are going to fall down again quite strongly. When is that going to happen? Can't tell you really. We could certainly see a bit of an upside here, and to be fair, I did tell you that I do expect some upside for Bitcoin, so that does affect, of course, altcoins as well, and they are already pumping quite a bit actually, despite Bitcoin not moving too much. What makes me still a bit, of course, skeptical and makes me think, right, this is just a correction, is also that we have, obviously, we've been oversold here on the daily. So when it's oversold, typically you have to expect some sort of a reaction, and we're doing that. We are still in the bearish range. So when we push above 50, yes, then also we can talk about here potentially an interesting move up. And the MACD also making here a bullish cross. But if we go on the longer time frames, which are really showing us the longer trend, then on the weekly, the MACD is still pushing further down. So generally, until that is turning around, I would expect further downside. Yeah, so I think what this currently is, it's certainly an interesting pump, certainly an interesting move up. Gave you just here the key resistance levels, the next ones, and the key support levels. And I think we could see some more upside potential. We just saw on the daily there is more scope on the RSI to move higher, even to move just to the 50 line, there is more scope. But what we need to understand is that Bitcoin is still in a corrective phase, so I don't think that CRO can move completely against Bitcoin. Yes, there is upside potential. That's also why I did start to dollar cost average into CRO and other altcoins that have potential, because I know that these pumps can come out of the blue, and then it's always an option to take some profits. For my side, I won't take profits. I'm a longer term holder, not a hodler, not necessarily. I've got a hodl portfolio, yes, but the altcoins that I here buy with my buy and sell orders, I do buy, but I want to take the larger waves, not just every small wave. It's too much work, and also it has tax implications, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I really like doing that, and then I'm gonna sell when we really are going much higher with CRO, because the potential for CRO is huge. If we go to the next wave up that we can then expect whenever that correction will finally be finished. I mean, to be fair, we've seen a very nice double bottom here. Yeah, I mean, there is a potential that this could have been the reversal already. Yeah, but yeah, that's why on this channel, and in this community, if you're following my buy orders, we did start to dollar cost average into CRO, so we are sort of safe. If the price is going up, we're not missing anything. We're good. That's why I like doing it. We're calm. We win both ways. It's fantastic. So the next wave up would take us to, in my view, at least 153. That's the 1.618 extension. I think, though, we could see more potential, probably all the way up to the 2.618 to 44. And that's because we already in the last wave moved all the way up to $1 here. Quite impressive. Did correct quite a lot down. And I think the next wave, with the potential of CRO and the growing crypto market, where the exchanges are going to profit from, especially, I think there we could expect here a little bit more upside than just the 1.618 extension. That's my view on CRO. Yeah, hope you liked the update. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. And if you want to see my own buy and sell orders, then feel free to join as a channel member. You can do that on my website. You can do that on YouTube. Both ways work. And yeah, hope you liked the update. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.